long, I'm scared.
What?
It's been so long, I'm scared. Alright, so we're gonna show chicken thighs. Usually when you buy a pack of chicken thighs, this even still has the feathers on it a little bit, they come with the single thigh bone in them. When I get them in packs, I like to debone some of them. Start with the skin and some of the fat. Usually the skin lifts up on one of the corners. I like to just use the back of the knife with a downward pressure against the meat and pull the skin back in the opposite direction. And it usually comes off pretty well. Up to the edge in small knife cuts to get rid of the rest of it. When breaking apart proteins, I find that small, quicker, little flicks of the knife are better than thick, long, dragged out cuts. So we're gonna take out this bone. You can feel the bone and where the meat is thin across it. So I'm just gonna use little knife cuts. Separate the meat off the bone. Keep going on the side. Rotate. And just, if you can't find it, just pick it back up, touch it. So you're just touching it, feeling the bone, making small little flicks across it. Dun, dun, dun. Thigh legs out, and it's still in one piece. Feel a little bit, sometimes you'll get little bits of cartilage in here. Just remove it. I like to save the bones for soups and stuff. You can cut this up into chunks, or you can leave it whole and sear it off that way. You can leave the skin on if you want. It's completely up to you. That's how you debone a chicken thigh. Now we're gonna do the whole bird. Whole bird real quick. Take the bird, take out the pack of the inside if you're making gravy, soup, stocks, anything like that. Keep it, if not, discard. You wanna rinse out the body of the cavity and dry it off, make sure everything's good to go. Let's get to cooking. Once again, small, thin little flicks. If you're roasting it whole, I would separate the skin like this and put oil and herbs and stuff underneath the skin. Otherwise, let's go for it. Find the spine, pick one side of the spine. I like to go closest to me. And you just break the skin, small little flicks again as you're running across that spine bone. You're gonna know if you hit bone because not only do you hear it, but it's not as easy to cut through as the meat is. So as you see, as I'm making these small little flicks, the breast really just kind of fell away on its own. Find the other side of the spine, flicks. You hear the knife scraping up against the bone. We're not really cutting through any bone right now. We're just following the sound, making little flicks, separating the meat from the bone. Spine and the breasts are pretty much separated now. See the bird's starting to open up. And now I take my palm on the spine and just crush it. And then just break it completely in it. And then you don't have to worry about using your knife on the bones or anything like that. It really is just the bone right here, just his spine bone. See? You have his little rib cage inside. Sometimes you'll run into resistance, but if you feel you'll find a little joint, just apply pressure and the opposite. direction, and the joint just snaps out. Almost cleaner than if you were using a knife. And now I have a full splayed bird, if this is how you want to use it. If not, and right then I just basically dislocated its hips. You can feel as you're working your way down, you feel this is the thigh and the leg. You feel the little joints, sink your thumbs in and just pop it back. And the little bones you see right here. And now pretty much all your sections are separated. Your little wings here, you see it moves this way. It doesn't naturally want to go this way, so we're gonna make it. Pop. Everything's dislocated, everything's popped out. Now all we have to do is separate, get the rest of the bones out of there. So once again, small flicks. You can see all the bones now, so we're just gonna take them all out. You got a joint that's locked right here. Two. You can tell there's no bone, it was just a little meat, a little tendon hanging on, just cut that off. If you're making soup, once again, I'd save these things, otherwise not so much. You can feel your little joints in there. Let's see, I got this whole breast right here, basically deboned. So I'm just going to, see where it's thinner right here? It already pretty much wants to separate in the natural cuts. So if you don't think about it too much, then there's way less work to do. Breast. Fell right off, slid right out of the skin, everything. Leg, can even easily de-skin it as a whole bird. Just peel it backwards. It's a great anatomy lesson too. The sound. So, bones right here. Let's see, I can feel it. You just have to kind of feel around. Skin, skin, skin. This is all bone right here. I don't want to lose this part of the thigh right here though, so you just have to be a little careful. The bones are a little small. Literally, just ripped right out. There's a little bit left on the edge, on the skin part. Just cut it off. Thigh and leg, skinned, beautiful. You just do the same thing to the other side, pulling off the skin. You can leave the skin on too if you want. I find most people these days like it skinned, so you might as well do it when it's whole. It's like a horror movie, right? This little wing's just about to fall off. Wing. Joint right here. Tendons, another wing, peel back the skin if you desire. Trim it up, trim it up. Got a little breast strip back here, strip, wing. I can still feel some of this rib cage in here, we're almost there. A little bone right here. This breast separated from the bone. I'm not even really using the knife, I'm just pulling against it. Breast 2. Just going in the natural opposite direction. Once again, we have these little bones right here. Thigh. I prefer to like kind of loosen it up with the knife. but then remove it. Hands, no bones, except for the main bone. I don't feel any cartilage or anything tough. Pretty much no waste. Feel like you use a lot more of the burr. This is pretty much the most meat that's left on any of the bones, and you can use that for soup if you want, but these little ribs kind of get in there a little bit. Maybe like sear it off and toss it out unless you strain your broth. That's it for breaking down a chicken. That was exciting, wasn't it? Ta-ta. That's it, that's all I got. I'm gonna die right now. It's okay. It already is. We're running it again because Tony kept walking in and out on the phone, even though I know we were recording, and blew the whole thing.
You want to do it again?
No, we'll just start from that one part. Love you. We're almost done. We're gonna be done in like 10 minutes. That's not.